How's it? Indian Cowboy, docsports.com, coming at you here on Saturday, September 28th, as we get this video to you around this time. Have your free pick winner just like here between Boise State as they hook up against Washington State in just a second. Hello, I'm Indian Cowboy, and this is Doc Sports. Indian Cowboy has been around for 19 years, and Doc Sports has been around for 53 years. I have a doctorate and a master's in Biostatistics. That's how these algorithms work. Welcome to my free daily podcast. Our best selections over at docsports.com under Arun Shiva. The video comes at you at various times in the day, but it always comes at you. And our next best selections are free picks and leans, which is a daily video that you're watching today. Today, I think I have about 15 to 17 free selections for you today. Our first one is our free selection. The rest of them is our leans, by the way. But we, of course, have a popular YouTube premium teaching channel for $20 a month. You get a live show every day, Monday through Sunday. Normally, it's before we do our daily video, which, of course, is a massive advantage. You get the best lines. You get more than 200 games, all for just $20 a month. Recorded podcast. You can re-listen to it anytime, and you get a written summary at the end. Awesome value. Plus, you get to hang out with me in a live setting, and you can ask me any questions you want. Probably one of the best deals on the internet there. The link to YouTube Premium is in the comments section, as well as a link to how to get your free $60 for the premium selections. If you want even more content, be sure to check my Twitter. It has our latest updates, our hot takes on sports, popular consensus reports, and our latest videos are posted there. So what do I need to tell you? Well, none of our football plays are off the board yet. We have a 4-unit college football selection, which goes off today at 7:30. We have another 6-unit college football selection, which goes off at 8:30. So pretty exciting stuff. We're very excited. We, of course, have our 8-unit NFL selection, which goes off tomorrow. We are at about 4:05. We are a perfect 7-0 with 8-unit selections over the last 2 years. So we had a 4-2 football week last week for plus 1220. We're looking to have a successful football week again. And we won our 7-unit last week on the Lions. And we won our 6-unit last week on the Tennessee and Oklahoma under the 56.5. Final score is 25-15. So hopefully we'll have a great day today. We have a 4-unit selection pending in baseball. So hopefully that will hit. Let me tell you what time that game is going off. That game goes off at 8:10, and I think we're going to do pretty well in that selection as well. Let me update this here. And that game is on the Rockies versus the Dodgers game, by the way. All right, so as it relates to this game, and NHL, of course, is just 10 days away. I'm going to have 2 free NHL futures for you probably on tomorrow's video, so keep an eye out for that. I might do it on Monday's video because tomorrow's video is going to be pretty long with the NFL. Soccer, 4-unit selection on Friday. 4-unit selection on Sunday coming at you. We missed our top play today, but we will bounce back. We're on a plus 2,800 run in soccer. WNBA next selection is tomorrow. We are 2-1 in the playoffs, plus 6,400. Pretty excited about WNBA tomorrow. Golf, 12 units on deck. MMA, plus 6,300 on the year. In fact, I might actually tack on soccer tomorrow. I think that would be good. All right, so let's get to our selection today. Your free play today is we're going to go with Boise State. These two teams haven't met since 2017, by the way. Sort of a regional battle here. Obviously, you have Boise State and Washington State here. Washington State has undoubtedly made its presence known. They're 4-0 to open the year, nearly guaranteeing themselves a bowl season, which they didn't accomplish last year. They were 5-7 last year. And big wins against Texas Tech and, of course, that Washington game on the road. And they won both games outright as underdogs. Give them credit. Washington State comes in off of a horrendous game against San Jose State, winning by a field goal on national television as they faced the former Navy coach and nearly lost outright as a 13.5-point dog. And they're looking forward to this game. Boise State, mind you, only lost Oregon by 3 points as a 17-point underdog. And Spencer Danielson has been at Boise State since about 2017, and he's done a great job with this team. This is a good fade, right? Public fade. Most of the public, 62%, is riding Washington State here. And, he was a temporary coach there at Boise State. Now he's taking the permanent role. Jake Dickert has done a great job at Washington State, but the difference here is that Boise State has, I think, a really, really good coaching staff. Okay, Boise State won 8 games last year. They returned 15 starters, 8 on offense, 7 on defense. Washington State returns 6 on offense and 3 on defense, just 9 starters. This is a fantastic fade, as you know. And I think if a team can go into Oregon and win nearly outright, they deserve my respect. And you can find Boise State at about minus the 6.5 here. We're going to learn a lot about Boise State. Remember, Boise State is still ranked, and they're ranked higher than Washington State as well in most polls, too. And I'm going to take Boise State minus the 6.5. As far as Penn State and Illinois is concerned, I still like Penn State, man. I like Penn State minus the 18. I have Penn State winning by 22, and I nearly made this my free play today. I talked to you this about, Penn State at the end of the day, they haven't played anybody, and they're well aware The Illinois comes off that huge win against Arkansas. They will not take this team lightly whatsoever. Illinois is number 19 or 21 according to most polls. Penn State is still top 10, around number 9 or 8. And I think Penn State gets up. The only problem is Penn State beat this team 30-19, and Illinois does well with revenge games. They had revenge against Arkansas, and they beat them. Sorry, not Arkansas, Nebraska, and they beat them as a 9.5-point dog. And they beat Kansas, and that's fine, which is big, big wins. Penn State, at the end of the day, did go into West Virginia and beat them 34-12 as a 7.5-point chalk. And to be honest with you, West Virginia beat Kansas by 4 as well, and they lost to Pitt by 4, and Penn State dominated this team. You know, head-to-head wise, you have a team here that I know they beat them 30-13 last year. I get all of that, but they know that if they thump Illinois here, that would be really, really good for their power rankings. And, you know, so I actually have them by 22 in our model, so I'm going to go with Penn State here against Illinois, even though it's a huge line. South Alabama, LSU. I still like South Alabama here. You have Major Applewhite here who's coaching this team. They just won as a 7.5-point dog by a score of 44-17. They were looking ahead. They were not looking ahead at all to LSU. They won in a big way. The former defensive coordinator, for Alabama, Kane Womax, obviously used to be the head coach at South Alabama. And I think this is a great opportunity for Major Applewhite to do well. There's still a lot of talent over at South Alabama. They're going to get up for this game. And South Alabama in their next game faces, let me make sure here, I got that right. I think they face South Alabama in their next game. Yeah, they have Ole Miss on deck as well, who's a top 10 team. And I like South Alabama to hang tough here. Oakland and Seattle in baseball. I like the under today. Oakland lost 0-2 last game. They're looking to bounce back here. Seattle's won back-to-back games coming in and 6 of 8 games coming in. Estes and Hancock here. Estes with a 4.99 ERA. Estes 4 innings, 6 hits, and 4 runs against Seattle on September 5th. He has revenge against Seattle. Estes, by the way, has given up 11 runs in 5 innings. Hancock, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs against Texas. These games, these games matter very little, you would think. But Hancock did go 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run against Arizona. Estes, 3 home runs in his last game. And the only thing that makes sense here to me is the under, because you have, the last one also went under 0-2. But I do think that you have Estes who has to bounce back today. And I also think Hancock bounces back as well. So I like the under between Oakland and Seattle. Texas and the Angels, small lean on the Angels plus the 1.5. I don't see a huge amount of value here. Texas won 5-2 last game. Angels have lost 4 in a row. Haney and Canning here. Haney 3.98 ERA. Haney went 6 innings, 3 hits, and 4 runs against the Angels in his last game. In 16 innings, he's given up 10 runs. He's got to bounce back. Canning went 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs for Toronto. He comes off a game where he went 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs against Houston. It was a clear non-quality start. He went 4 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs against Texas the last time he got rocked, but he did pick up a win. I think the value pretty much here is on the Angels plus the 1.5, but that's about it. So, quick recap, and I'll get to the NFL. Again, free picks on Boise State. I also like Penn State today over Illinois. I like South Alabama, Oakland, Seattle under in baseball, Angels plus the 1.5. Now, regarding the NFL, we have our 8 unit is at 4 o'clock. Of course, we have our college Georgia-Alabama game. That's our 6 unit college football selection. Florida State SMU. That's our 4 unit college football selection. We also have a 4 unit on New England, San Francisco in NFL, Rams, Bears, 4 unit, and Seattle, Detroit, 4 unit. Now, the rest of the NFL games are as follows. Buffalo and Baltimore. I still like Baltimore here. What better way to shake up the league and post a big win here? But I got to be honest with you, Baltimore has looked a little sketch, and I know that. I actually think Baltimore gets up solidly here for Buffalo. Buffalo did struggle against a strong defensive team in Arizona, and I think Baltimore kind of has that makings as well. It's not a huge lean. I think Baltimore will find some success. They didn't close the game well at all against Dallas. They gave up 19 points in the fourth quarter. Small lean on Baltimore, but nothing big. Cleveland versus Vegas here. I like Vegas. I think if you have a coach that is furious at you for losing to the Panthers, and it's not entirely their fault. Whenever there's a QB change, the team that makes the QB change actually does really well. So I don't fault them too much here, but obviously when you have Coach Pierce talking about making business decisions because other guys made business decisions, I think he'll get a lot out of his team. Therefore, I like Vegas here. I just don't trust Cleveland either, man. Cleveland is not playing well, and their win against Jacksonville doesn't look that impressive right now. So give me Vegas, and Vegas at the end of the day still went into Baltimore and won. Kansas City and the Chargers. I think Kansas City gets going for this game. The only thing that sucks is that the Chargers lost their last game, but I think Kansas City. Everybody thinks they got lucky against my Falcons. I think they'll show up here. Chargers did not look impressive at all against against Pittsburgh, and Harbaugh is not going to let Herbert be more than he needs to be. If you notice, he's not throwing more than 20 attempts per game. Harbaugh's 2 wins are not impressive at this point. They're against Carolina and Vegas, and I think Kansas City sends a message here to the Chargers. At the end of the day, Kansas City still has some big wins in their hands, and one of them was at Atlanta on the road. They also beat the Ravens, of course, and they beat Cincinnati. But I like Kansas City. New Orleans and Atlanta, I'm going to take a lean on my Falcons here, but that's also because I love my Falcons. I'll tell you what, I think the Eagles get smacked here pretty hard, and the Saints won this game 48-17 last time. New Orleans is off of a 12-15 loss and scoring 47 and 49 points. Carr 142 yards passing in his last game. Falcons are a penalty away from winning. The Saints have played better, clearly, but I'll tell you what, the Falcons have been more impressive in some ways. You have the Saints who beat Carolina with Bryce Young, and they beat the Cowboys who've struggled at this point. And the Falcons, at the end of the day, they nearly beat the Steelers, they nearly beat the Chiefs, and I think they also lost by 30 points to the Saints team last year, and I think this is a benchmark game for Coach Raheem Morris, and I like the Falcons here. Denver and the Jets, I'm going to take a small lean on Denver, but nothing big. Denver comes off that huge win against the Bucs, which I told you lean on Denver makes sense there. You have Bo Nix, who continues to gain confidence. Do you really trust the Jets to come out back-to-back big wins? Or you can trust them to put together back-to-back big wins? I don't know. I don't think so. I think the Broncos will get up for this game. I think Bo Nix, who continues to gain confidence. The Broncos lost 31-21 last year, and they didn't even have a quarterback. So I still think the Broncos hang tough, and not a huge lean, though, but I'll take Denver plus the points. Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. I like Tampa Bay here. Philly is terrible. The Bucs are looking ahead to this game, and that's why they laid an absolute egg in their last game. I almost had this as one of my premium selections. This team just looked lost against the Broncos at home. They were coming off that big win against the Lions and just had a huge letdown. They get up for good teams. They sometimes play down to bad teams, but I absolutely think they get up to play Philadelphia, who, barely beat New Orleans because they put up 13 or 16 points in the fourth quarter. The Bucs won 32-9 last year. I know Philly has revenge, but I still like the Bucs here. I think they're in a really good spot, and I think that as they come off a bad loss, it makes sense here. Jacksonville and Houston. I like Jacksonville here. People are calling for Peterson's job. They're saying we're replacing him with Belichick. Houston lost 7-34 in the last game against Minnesota. I think that you'll get Jacksonville's best effort today, and I think you'll get Trevor Lawrence's best effort today. The problem is Houston also comes off of a loss too. I get that. It's a divisional game, and Jags were very successful against Houston last year in these divisional games. So obviously Peterson knows what DeMarco Ryans is running over there. But I just cannot imagine this team embarrassment. Both teams got embarrassed, but Jacksonville really got embarrassed against Buffalo. Small lean on Jacksonville. Minnesota and Green Bay. I'm going to go with Green Bay here. Sam Darnold threw for 180 yards and 4 touchdowns last game. Minnesota's 3-0, and yet they're an underdog here. And I think that says something. Green Bay's a favorite. They won 33-10 last time as well. And I think the mojo is clearly, Green Bay had a huge win at Tennessee, and I understand that Minnesota feels disrespected as they're undefeated. And yet they're the underdog here. But even though Minnesota has revenge, I still think Green Bay has something good going here with Malik Willis. I don't think that Minnesota has been challenged on the road truly, and I think you're going to get Green Bay's best effort here. Pittsburgh versus Indianapolis. I like the over there. Pittsburgh is a good football team. This team is 3-0. The Colts are 1-2. The Colts won 30-13 last time, so the Steelers have some revenge. The Colts had such a bad game in their last game. They still ended up winning. But Richardson went 10 for 20 from the field, 167 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He plays much better today. And you have a Steelers team that's looking to bounce back offensively. They haven't put up much points at all year, and I think they'll get that chance this time. And they'll kind of give an opportunity for Justin Fields to throw the ball. I like the over there. Cincinnati and Carolina. I like Cincinnati. It's a fascinating game. The Bengals quarterbacks of the new versus the Bengals quarterbacks of the old was Burrow versus Dalton. Dalton facing his former team, coming off that huge win for Carolina on the road against Vegas. Bengals are 0-3 here. If you lose to the Panthers, heads are going to roll. They have to show up here. They have to win big. I don't trust the Panthers to win back-to-back games either because all that emotional kumbaya is over now that they switch quarterbacks. And Burrow threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns last week and no interceptions. And I think he has another good game, and I like Cincinnati. Finally, Tennessee and Miami. I'm going to go with the Dolphins here. Thompson was knocked out in the last game, and who knows if he'll be the quarterback or if it'll be Boyle. But Boyle's a good quarterback. He came over from Connecticut. He's been in the league about 6 years. He was with the Packers for a good bit of time. And I think Miami's offensive scheme and everything will just be better. Tennessee continues to struggle. They, of course, lost at home to Green Bay. Levis threw for 2 interceptions last game. And I think Miami will look to bounce back here. I know the line is small. I don't have a huge lean, one lean or the other way, but I do have, if anything, it's a small lean on Miami. There's your video for today. I know it's a long video. Hope you guys are doing well. Please take a moment to like and subscribe, and I'll try to have 2 NHL futures for you tomorrow as we kick off and get close to the NHL season. Hope you enjoyed the content. Please make sure to like it if you get a chance. Thank you. Bye-bye.